Cats are mysterious little creatures. One moment, they're curled up in your lap, purring like a tiny motorboat. The next, they're launching themselves off the furniture in what can only be described as an exorcism in progress. But no matter how chaotic or aloof they may seem, every cat has a list of things they absolutely adore. And no, it's not just ignoring you while staring at a blank wall for 3 hours. This is the video that will finally answer the age-old question. What do cats love the most? Don't worry, you will not waste your time here. This is not one of those generic cats like sleeping and food lists that could have been written by a bored goldfish. No, we are going deep into the feline psyche. By the end of this, you'll know exactly what makes your cat's tiny, judgmental heart swell with joy. Or at least, what makes them slightly less disappointed in your existence. If there is one universal truth about cats, it's this. They are walking, purring thermometers with zero tolerance for discomfort. If your cat had a choice between a high-end luxury bed and a crumpled hoodie you left on the floor, they will always choose the hoodie, because it smells like failure, and they love that. Cats are heat-seeking missiles disguised as house pets. They will find the one sunbeam in the room and claim it like a tiny, furry landlord collecting rent. If that sunbeam moves, so do they. If the sun isn't available, congratulations, your laptop keyboard is now their personal heating pad. You weren't really using that spacebar anyway, were you? And let's not forget the obsession with warm laundry. Nothing says I love you like a fresh pile of clothes that you needed to fold, now completely covered in fur. Your cat sees you standing there about to grab a shirt and thinks, oh, you need this? Interesting. Guess I'll sleep here for the next 4 hours. Warmth isn't just a preference for cats. It's a lifestyle. And if that means taking over every soft, toasty surface in your home, well, they didn't ask to be born with such refined taste. Cats have a very specific philosophy in life. If they can squeeze into it, it belongs to them. Boxes, bags, drawers left slightly open. If there's even a remote chance they can fit inside, they will shove themselves in like a furry liquid. Scientists call this a survival instinct. I call it an extreme commitment to being inconvenient. You could buy your cat the most expensive, high-tech, self-warming orthopedic bed on the market, and they will still choose to cram themselves into an old shoebox that barely fits their body. Why? Because the smaller the space, the higher the rent in their tiny judgmental minds. And let's talk about their weird obsession with hiding in places you would never expect. Inside cabinets, behind curtains, sometimes just inside a random bag, like they're smuggling themselves out of your disappointing household. One minute you have a cat. The next, you're searching your house like a lunatic, convinced they've phased into another dimension. But they don't just love hiding. They love watching you panic while they do it. Because nothing is funnier to a cat than you shaking a bag of treats in full desperation, only for them to emerge 10 minutes later with a smug expression, as if to say, oh, were you looking for me? How tragic. Cats may look like pampered, domesticated royalty, but deep down, every single one of them thinks they are a highly trained assassin. You could be feeding them the finest gourmet cat food money can buy, and they will still spend their afternoon violently attacking a plastic bottle cap like it personally insulted their mother. They don't play because they're bored. They play because their instincts demand it. That feather on a string? Not a toy. That is prey that must be eliminated. The laser pointer? A deeply personal grudge match that will never be won, yet must always be fought. The moment you start wiggling something on the floor, their pupils dilate. There but wiggles and suddenly they are Liam Neeson and Taken, whispering, I have a very particular set of skills. And let's not forget their tendency to gift their kills. If your cat goes outside, you might wake up to a small deceased offering on your doorstep. A loving tribute, really. If they're indoor only, their generosity takes the form of depositing toys directly into their water bowl. Because apparently, drowning a stuffed mouse is a valid hunting technique. But perhaps the most terrifying part of all? Sometimes mid-play they stop. Just freeze in place, eyes wide, staring at absolutely nothing. Are they seeing ghosts? Are they calculating your weaknesses? You will never know. And that's exactly how they like it. Cats treat sleep like it's their full-time job, and business is booming. They can nap for 16 hours a day without a shred of guilt, completely unbothered by the responsibilities of the world. Meanwhile, you miss 6 hours of sleep and suddenly you're a dysfunctional mess. Must be nice. But what's truly impressive isn't just how much they sleep. It's where they choose to do it. A plush, expensive cat bed? Absolutely not. The most inconvenient spot possible? Now we're talking. On top of your keyboard while you're working, sprawled across the one chair you actually need, or delicately perched on a pile of important documents that you foolishly thought belonged to you. And let's talk about the positions. Sometimes they curl up into a perfect, adorable little loaf. Other times they stretch themselves out like a crime scene outline, limbs flung in random directions as if they passed out in the middle of a dramatic performance. And then there's the head tilt, that unsettling moment when they're upside down, eyes half open, looking absolutely lifeless. You check to make sure they're still breathing. They are. They always are. They just like the drama. But perhaps the greatest mystery of all, why do they get random bursts of energy at 3 a.m.? After an entire day of sleeping in 47 different places, they suddenly decide that now is the time to sprint full speed across the house, knocking over objects like a tiny, unhinged burglar. And when they're done, back to sleep. Because exhaustion is for people with jobs and cats? Cats are living the dream. Cats like to pretend they don't need you. They give you that cold, indifferent stare, flick their tail, and act like your existence is mildly inconvenient. But then at the most unexpected moment they appear, sitting on your laptop, following you into the bathroom, or curling up on your chest like a tiny, purring dictator. They don't want to admit they love you, but their actions betray them. The slow blink? That's a feline I love you, even if it comes with a side of judgment. The headbutt? A bizarre yet affectionate way of claiming you as their property. The mysterious need to sleep on you only when you have somewhere to be? A tactical move to ensure you never leave them. And let's talk about how they follow you around but pretend they're not. They'll casually walk into every room you're in, plop down, and act like it's your fault they ended up there. Oh, you're going to the kitchen? Interesting. Looks like they were also planning to sit on the counter and stare at you like an unpaid food critic. But the real proof that you're their favorite? The kneading. That strange biscuit-making ritual where they press their little paws into you like they're prepping dough for an invisible bakery. It's cute. It's painful. It's a reminder that love, in cat terms, often involves tiny, sharp claws digging into your soul. Cats are picky eaters in the most infuriating way possible. One day they're obsessed with a particular brand of treats, acting like it's the finest delicacy ever created. The next day, that same treat is dead to them.
No explanación.
No warning. Just pure betrayal. And yet, nothing triggers their primal instincts more than the sound of a treat bag crinkling. They could be in a deep comatose nap on the other side of the house, but the second you touch that bag, they materialize at your feet like a furry little ghost demanding payment. You are no longer a person. You are a vending machine. But treats are just the warm-up act. When it comes to water, cats have an entire set of absurd high-maintenance rules. Stagnant water in a bowl? Absolutely not. Fresh, moving water? Now we're talking. This is why they'll ignore the perfectly clean dish you refill daily, but will happily drink from a running faucet, your glass of water, or a mysterious puddle they found outside that definitely violates every health code. And let's not forget the classic stick my paw in the water first move. Because why drink directly like a normal creature when you can create your own personal filtration system using the same paws you just used to dig in the litter box? Cats take personal hygiene more seriously than most humans. They spend half their waking hours meticulously licking themselves, ensuring every single fur strand is in place. Meanwhile, you've worn the same hoodie 3 days in a row and called it a personality. Grooming isn't just a routine for them. It's a full-time commitment. They lick their paws, their belly, their tail, and somehow manage to reach that one awkward spot behind their ears with Olympic-level flexibility. And just when you think they're done, they start over because perfection doesn't happen in one round. But despite their obsessive self-care, they still expect you to help. If you pick up a brush, they'll either melt into it like they've just entered a state of nirvana or act like you've personally betrayed them. There is no in-between. One moment, they're purring with the intensity of a well-tuned engine. The next, they're swatting at you like you just insulted their ancestors. And let's talk about the infamous hairball situation. They groom themselves so much that their bodies just give up and eject a wet, horrifying gift onto your carpet at 2 a.m. Not on the tile. Never on the tile. Always somewhere that requires deep psychological recovery after cleaning it up. Cats are the undisputed champions of staring at absolutely nothing for hours on end. You'll find them perched by the window, eyes wide, tail twitching, watching the world as if they're gathering intel for a highly classified mission. What are they looking at? A bird? A leaf? The ghost of your productivity? You'll never know. They are master observers, silently judging everything that moves outside. Squirrels? Suspicious. The neighbor's dog? An idiot. The mailman? A potential threat to national security. And heaven forbid a bug flies too close to the window. That's when your cat suddenly transforms into a big game hunter, chirping like a malfunctioning robot while slapping the glass in frustration. But the real comedy is when they see something and whip their heads around like they just discovered a deep government conspiracy. You rush over expecting to witness something truly life-changing, only to realize there's absolutely nothing there. Were they imagining it? Are they seeing into another dimension? Is it time to move? And yet, despite their tendency to make you question reality, there's something oddly peaceful about watching a cat watch the world. They're little philosophers, pondering life's great mysteries while you struggle to find your keys for the third time today. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You are officially fluent in cat. Or at least as fluent as any mere human can be. Subscribe for more Klawsome videos.